Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with the first part of my full Born of the Gods set review. We've gone through most of the cards already. They released the last 30 or something today, but I think it's nice to have all the info quickly condensed in one place. The most important things you have to know about the cards of the set. So we'll start it with white here. Nyxborn Shieldmate, we talked about already, is not that great, even for limited. One for some things tend not to be that good, and he's not. Oresco's Sun Guide, however, is quite good. It's a 2 for 2/2 bear, which is fine. And the fact that every time it untaps you gain 2 life, this is long-term value, especially if your opponent doesn't want to deal with attacking. You just tap, untap, tap, untap. Life gain in this way in limited is pretty good, so I think this will be a nice splashable first card drop in limited. Silent Sentinel, 7 mana is way overcost. I think even for limited, this card is going to be a very casual card at best. Maybe EDH you could splash it in, but returning enchantment card to the battlefield is going to have to be dedicated, so I think this has EDH commander potential, but not much else. Hero of Iroas is awesome. There's probably going to be some standard constructed decks worked with him in it. He's the only real way I can see to make Bestow functional and to make Auras in general functional. As a heroic card, he's a bomb. He's going to be amazing and limited, and I see constructed possibility for sure. God Favorite General is not that great despite making tokens. There's not much token support here, so it's kind of just whatever. Archetype of Courage, however, is kind of awesome. He's competing for the 3 slot, which, as we talked about with Brimaz is probably the best 3-drop in the set in terms of everything. He's just going to be amazing for cube, for constructed, for standard limited, everything, except maybe EDH, but otherwise he's freaking awesome. So Archetype card is going to fail to that. However, it is a very functional card and could work well with a token dedicated deck. Glimpse of Sun God is going to be awesome and limited. It acts for heroic, it acts for inspired, it locks your opponent's stuff down, it's very splashable, very awesome. Definitely a sure card pickup in limited. The Spirit of the Labyrinth, this is going to be an expensive foil, that's for sure. This is going to be a multi-format card. Definitely going to see some play in EDH. Definitely going to see play in, well, most likely going to see play in Legacy. It's pretty decent, maybe for limited, just because of its power. It may even see some constructed play, but the real place it shines will be in EDH, Commander, and Legacy. Vanguard of Brimaz is a limited only card. It's fine there if you're running heavy white, and it's not going to be easily splashable. Plea of Guidance is an EDH only card. It's too much mana for abilities that really will only work for EDH. Sonbond is fun. It's a little expensive, but it probably will have functionality in limited if you somehow can work out some life gain, and maybe a life gain dedicated deck that's more casual build. Loyal Pegasus is fine, I think, for limited, and may even in a very aggressive deck and constructed be a decent 1-drop because it has flying, but other than that, I think it's a bit weak. Eidolon Countless Battles, I'm just going to revise it slightly. I think it's a decent card, but again, Brimaz will be in charge. However, I think in a deck that's more dedicated towards white, maybe mono-white weenie even, this card could bestow for 4 onto Brimaz, which would be insane, or bestow for 4 onto just about anything, and I think the bestow ramps out pretty well with Brimaz, so you expect to see some white like that. Dawn to Dusk, I think, is too weak for what it does. It's not that great. There's just better stuff in just about every format for it. Acolyte's Reward could be fun tempo card for limited. I don't really see it in constructed, except maybe as a sideboard card, but that's about it. It's definitely a flexible card for limited. Revoke Existence, this is a constructed card. This is the 2-drop. It's going to take the place for a lot of removal, and it will definitely see at least some sideboard, if not full-on constructed play. Of course, for limited, it's fantastic. Fate Retribution, as we'll get to in my top 10 EDH Commander cards for Born of the Gods, this card is very, very powerful. It could see play once Supreme Verdict rotates, as it will be the best Wrath in the format, and it is pretty decent on its own. We'll talk more about it when we get to that review. Ornitharch, whatever you'd call it, is a pretty decent tribute card because you'll get a 3/3 with, well, you'll get a 5/5 for 5, which is awesome for limited, or you'll get a bunch of flyers, which is also pretty good. So for limited, this is going to be a very nice 5-drop. Mortal's Ardor is not as good as other stuff from other sets, so it's really not that great, I think, even for limited. Hold at Bay is just preventing damage. It's not even a full fog effect, so not that great. Griffin Dreamfinder is also pretty terrible. 5 for a 1/4 flying. The stats, the 4 toughness could be pretty decent, but there's enough removal and creature power that puts it over 4. I don't really love its ability so much. For 5 mana, it seems a lot. Ornitharch is just better, I think. Great Heart is kind of meh. Ghost Blade Eidolon gives double strike, but the bestow is so expensive on its own, it's pretty awful. Excoriate, exile target tap creature. This will be a lot of fun with Inspired for limited, so this could be a pretty decent removal there. Not going to see play anywhere else. As far as Radiance is, nah, it's not that great. It's fun for Inspired and it can give you life gain, but it'll have to be a dedicated deck. I like the art though, as I like most of these arts. Elite Skirmisher allows you to tap creatures, so this could be fun if you have Inspired Heroic deck, but it's too dedicated and it's 3 mana. There's just better cards. Our Crowan Skyguard, I like the Heroic. It's very well costed. This will be a nice limited common, and I don't think it'll probably see play anywhere else. And a Crowan Phalanx is just in general pretty, I would say pretty awful. It's actually pretty decent for limited as a 4-drop because it gives you long-term play, but that's really all. So that is pretty much my review of all the white cards in the set. We've talked about them more in depth before, but as you can see, these are the remaining ones and my general thoughts. So let me know what you think about them. Tap the like button if you are excited for more spoilers and more Born of the Gods reviews, which I'll be putting up shortly. Comment your thoughts down below. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.